Today I will do another look at my E-Flite Habu SS 50mm, a small one that runs on 3S. So let's go outside and get this one flying. You really have to use all the juice to get this one off grass. And in my experience, when you have like these tricycle gear RC airplanes where the fuse is really near the ground, it's kind of a sticky thing. So just to pull everything you have. But this is a really well-controlled small EDF. Really welcome to have a rudder on this RC airplane, which means that I can kick around the nose. I do things like this, wing over things really easy.
Time remaining 4 minutes.
This one flies on a 3S 2200 milliamp battery. Can fit a 50C. Most often I use just the 30C, but the 50C is okay. This plane draws somewhere just slightly below 30 amp, like 26, 27 amps. Well, I had problems with mine, so I swapped the speed controller inside to an Avian 45 amp because there was some malfunctioning then of the speed controller. So it just completely cut off power. But since I swapped the speed control, then everything has been working fine. This should of course be a warranty issue matter, but just to get this one flying, I took a speed control I already had.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
This plane just, it flies really good. My only beef with an RC airplane when it comes to EDF RC airplanes is that you don't have the kind of a wide flight experience you have with a prop-driven bush plane. So of course they're very different, and every RC airplane can't be the same. But still, I'm just enjoying my bush planes much more than any other RC airplane really. This is, I mean, it is a little bit screaming, so not the best EDF sound. I more prefer like where you have the 65mm or 70mm and have a much more pleasing sound to them. I mean, it's still not too bad, but it could have been better. Very easy to do nice big loops. I'm flying mine then on 100% rate and just have like 30% expo. You can glide this one. It's not like the larger Habu, which glides forever. So this one will drop, and I think that's a good thing because then it makes it just easier to get it down and to, I mean, just to fly it in general. If an RC plane drops, kind of predictable when you drop throttle. You can make really tight maneuvers also thanks to the rudder. You don't only have to bank and jank. You can just, I mean, use rudder in all turns.
17 amps, 16 Celsius.
It's a nice break from my kind of prop-driven RC planes to fly something like this. And I set the voltage alarm then for 10.5 volts. So usually when I fly this one, I do get a lot of these alerts of voltage when I push the RC plane. That's like 30 seconds on the timer. Usually quite easy to get this one down. Just lowering altitude and speed. And there's no wind, so then I can fly it really slow also. Let's just line up towards me and get this one down. Drop the throttle almost completely and flare at the end. You're down in a respectable way anyway. The ground handling, at least on this field with these small wheels and close to the ground, well, I think it's okay. We have to push the throttle. This is a good flying small EDF. It's really visible thanks to the orange tips on this one and also the underside. I have a few repairs on mine, and I also reinforced the nose section with the carbon fiber rods. And I've replaced the speed controller inside because I had so many problems with the stock one. So this is a 45 amp speed controller that I could fit inside an Avian one. And I also have just maxed out more or less the throw in the elevator to have this one flying good. But once I've done these modifications, and I think it's a good flying RC airplane, but it takes just a lot of juice to get this one off grass. So then maybe I think that hand launch is the way to go for this RC airplane. I mean, it's no problem to land this one most often because it will if you just cut the power, it will kind of just glide down really well and just flare at the end, so you don't need to do many things when it comes to landing. Just glide and just pull the full elevator before you touch down. And I think that these wheels are quite robust for being this RC airplane, close to the ground. So maybe that's one problem then. You're kind of in the ground effect when you're about to take off, and it just kind of sticks the RC airplane to the ground, which is I've experienced on many like tricycle gear RC airplanes. If you have a tail dragger, most often you have a right angle, and it's much easier just to create lift and get this one up in the air. And this one is, I think it's more fun to fly than the Habu SS or SDS 70mm, just because it's more manageable. It's a little bit quicker also. So I mean, I'll certainly just come back to this Habu then and show more flights because it's a plane that I just put in my car and have ready. You know, when I just tired of flying my large RC airplanes, so I do a few flights then on this small Habu.